Hi everyone, my name is Vendik and you're welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be discussing price action entry. So if actually you follow up the channel for a long time, you will definitely hear me saying something like setup one, setup one, setup one. So I want to do a video, okay, actually explaining this setup on why we take a setup one and why it's very important to us. The difference between setup one, setup two, and then probably setup three. All right. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you're a return subscriber, don't forget to do the YouTube business. All right. Let's get into it so that you know how we do this thing. I think I prepared PDF, all right, that I want to use for this. Let's use this and explain it, okay, before I can give you example on the chart. Okay, it's very, very simple. So I tag this my price action entry. Okay, so note number one, all right, you must follow the trend. All right, it must, whatsoever you want to do, it must be in line with the trend. That is a must for this setup to work properly. And two, you must trade during volume time. Okay, so it can be New York, it can be London. Okay, I know the rest of the section, the volume are not always up like that, but if you are trading New York section, you should actually look at your news event very well. London's opening is always plain, okay, and the volume is always impressive, so I will actually recommend London. And then this work best on 15 minutes time frame and then 30 minutes time frame. Okay, so you check out these setups on 15 minutes time frame and 30 minutes time frame. So you need to really pay attention to this. Number one is that it must be in line with the trend. Number two is that the trend must be, you must trade during volume time. All right, okay, you must trade during volume time, and you should use 15 minutes as minimum. Okay, the minimum time frame you should go should be 15 minutes, and then you see how this works. So what is setup one? All right, so this will actually show you exactly what it means to have setup one. All right, so if you have candles like this, okay, going kind of creating some kind of a consolidation, something like this, all right, something like this, you should actually be waiting for a break above that range. All right, a break above that range is what is setup one. So the candle that breaks above that range, all right, that is where your entry is. Okay, then you target the next resistance. All right, that is how setup one is. If the candle that breaks above that range is big enough, okay, you can use the end of the candle as your stop loss, or if it is small, you use the bottom of the range, okay, depending on the market condition and how it is. So this is what is setup one official. Okay, this is what setup one is. All right, so another thing you really need to consider is that you must have an LTA, low traffic area, on your right hand. Okay, on your right hand you must have a low traffic area, okay, so that you won't mistakenly buy into support or sell into resistance. I lay emphasis on this, like, I don't know, but I know I've tried as much as possible. I lose a whole lot of trade because of this thing. So any area you are trading, it should be a low traffic area, okay? If you don't know what low traffic area is, I've done a complete video on LTA on this channel, so you can go back and check it out. All right, so make sure that the trade you are taking, it's in line with the trend. So you can add the your left hand side, it must be an LTA. That's why I put these three candles here. It must be an LTA. All right, you must have an LTA so that the range can fill up completely without any issue. So this is exactly what is setup one. All right, this is exactly what is setup one. So now we move down. You say you have another section that we call setup two. Okay, so what is setup two? Setup two is impulsive, a correction of movement. Okay, a kind of, okay, let's say it's a pullback. All right, so when you have a pullback, right, when a pullback is confirmed that is reversing, okay, you now get into it. That is setup two. And if you get setup two, you will always have a clean candle during pullback. So that gives you an opportunity for you to buy back to the next support, to that support that create that pullback. All right, that's setup two. Then now, how did you get into setup 2? You get into setup 2 when you find setup 1. All right, when you find setup 1 right inside setup 2. So what does that mean? It simply means during when this pullback is over, you wait for setup 1 to confirm itself. What is setup 1? A break above the range. This is what is setup 1, a break above the range. Okay, so when you break above the range in this particular place, that's setup 1 confirm inside setup 2. So setup 2 now gives you a range to trade into. All right, so I will show you this in chat so that you will understand. So what the next one is setup 3. Setup 3 is the exact same thing as setup 1. Okay, but there are sometimes the market won't give you a room to trade. Okay, when setup 1 is confirmed, sometimes it happens that you see it very late. Okay, so what do you wait for? You wait for a support to be formed after setup 1. Okay, so when a support form, you have something like this, and then a break above that support is your next entry. And also remember, you need to have an LTA at the right time. Okay, so this brings us to what is support. Support is a candle closing in the opposite direction of the trend. Okay, so if market is going like this, you have a candle closing in the opposite direction. That particular place, okay, that's a support. That's a support. So that's the difference between setup 1, setup 2, and setup 3. Okay, so the three of them are always in line. All right, and they are doing the exact same thing if you pay attention to it. Okay, there's no difference between two of them, so you must be waiting for this thing. And another thing you shouldn't forget is LTA. Okay, so if you don't know what is support, okay, go and check our support video in the channel, and then you will see how support is formed and how to trade off of support and trade into support. All right, so that's that. So let's just go into this. Let's go into the chart so that I will show you what that means. Okay, so this is GJ. All right, so if you are looking at GJ, you have something like that form. All right, so what is that thing that is formed is consolidation. Okay, so a break above that consolidation is your entry. Okay, this is what setup 1 is. And remember, your overall analysis is showing you bullish. You have to put that into consideration. Your overall analysis is showing you bullish, and then what makes setup 1 to confirm is this, and this is your trade. Okay, so that's what is setup 1, and we move to the next support. So this will be your first target, and then this candle, as I said, will be your stop loss. All right, so that's it. That's what is setup 1. Okay, so if you look at it, setup 1 form very clean, very clean. Okay, so a break above a range gives you a setup 1. You get into it and then you drive up. So your first support, your first take profit will be above the range, and that is it. All right, so if actually you miss this move, okay, you wait for a support to be formed. So a support form, all right, you see this. So a break above the support that is formed is your next entry. So if actually you miss this, okay, you won't actually miss this one. Okay, so this is the trade. So close below this and then you target the next support. Okay, and that is that. So that is how we confirm setup 1, setup 2, and setup 3. So setup 2 was a correction, okay, like a retracement into the zone. Okay, so what does that mean? Let me find a correction move. All right, something like this. The market actually corrects itself, impulsive move, correct move. Okay, create a consolidation. A break above that consolidation is setup 2. So now this gives you range. This gives you range. The candle that close above it is this one. So this gives you a very clean trading range. From here, okay, the next, your take profit will be the next support, which is this. Okay, that's 1:2. All right, so that's how it's formed. That's how setup 2 is formed when the market is done on a correction. Okay, after that correction move, you get into it and then you move. Okay, all right, so that's that on entry on price action. Please back test this thing, back test it. All right, backtest it and you will see how effective this thing is. Okay, so if you find value out of this content, don't forget to do the YouTube business, and then we will see you in the next episode. Peace out.